Hello students, I hope you all are doing well. So let us start with our next very interesting chapter. It is the little lines. Our face is the display board of our expression. We know a person is sad by looking at his expression, that he is sad. If a person is very happy and delightful and is enjoying his life, we know that that person is very happy. So everything is written on our face is a display board of our expression. So let us start, students. He was a very intelligent man. All the students knew him well because he would often draw pictures of them. He would draw animals, toys, children, engine, ship and aeroplane with a twinkling in his eyes. Here is a character who is an artist, and the narrator says that he is very intelligent, and this artist paints so many things. He draws animals, toys and children, about engines. He draws everything and he is an excellent artist. One day, little Sally Johnson found him all alone sitting on a still. Still is a raised platform, students, and the artist was sitting all alone there. He had his sketchbook on his knees and he was drawing the distant hills. What do we mean by distant here, students? Distant mean something which is at a little far away place. So there were hills and this artist was drawing hills, and where Sally peeped. Peeped means looked over. What do we mean by peeped, students? Peeped over his arms. Can you draw faces? She asked. You know portraits of real people so that I know who they are. So now Sally is saying, can you draw faces, and if you draw it, I will always be interested. Oh yes, said the artist, and his eyes twinkled down at Sally, that he was very happy to paint our portraits of real people. I am very good at that because I can draw what's on the faces as well as faces themselves. So now the artist is saying that I am a very good artist. I can paint the portraits of real people and I will help you with it. What do you mean? Said the Sally. Well now, who shall I draw for you? So now the artist is saying that who shall I draw for you? Tell me. And he sharpened his pencil. He went on sharpening his pencil. You tell me and you will soon see what I mean, which means now the artist has taken up the job that he is going to paint up, that now he is going to make a portrait of a real person, and now Sally has to guess who is this person. So draw my granny's face. Now the Sally is saying that draw my granny's face. The artist set his pencil to his paper and began to draw a face. It was a very lovely face, sweet and young. So now the artist started painting a portrait of a real person, and Sally told him that please paint my grandmother, and now he is doing it. So now Sally is saying that's not my granny. It is when she was 20. So now the artist has painted a younger picture of Sally's granny, and now Sally is saying this is not my grandmother. So now the artist is explaining that yes, she was your grandmother when she was 20 years old. He put in a line or two and then some more. He put in a line or two and then some more. What do we mean by put in a line or two, students? That he is putting some wrinkles on her face while painting. He gave the mouth a little twist and drew wrinkles around the eyes. So now he is drawing little wrinkles to make granny older, Sally's granny older. So he is adding little wrinkles on her face. The face became old and rather sad and tired. Yes, that's my granny, Sally said. You made her into my granny when you put in those little lines. How funny that those little lines should make that her face into my granny's. Which means that when the painter painted a very young and a charming face, Sally couldn't recognize the picture of her own grandmother. But now, when the painter is adding few wrinkles on her face by face, now Sally is saying, yes, this is my grandmother. She has so many wrinkles. How is it possible that when you added some wrinkles, it became my granny? So she is asking. They weren't always in your granny's face, said the artist. See that one there, that was a worry line. It came when one of her sons ran away and didn't write to her for 2 years. And do you see that one, that little frown line? So what do we mean by frown, students? Someone who is very angry. That came when your grandpa lost his money and she was cross and upset because she had to give up her nice house and garden and hadn't much money to bring up her children. So now the artist is explaining the hardship that Sally's grandmother went throughout her life, and all the wrinkles he is making on her face is one or the other struggles she faced in her life. The first very struggle that she faced in her life when one of her sons ran away and never wrote her. The second, when she lost all the money and didn't have money to even run the house. Yes, Mommy told me about that time, Sally said, that my mother told me about all the hardships that grandmother has gone through. Did it really put that line into her face? What's that one there at the corner of her mouth? It is a little line, it makes her mouth look sweet. So now this little Sally is asking, what is that little wrinkle on the end of her lips? On the end of her mouth, what is the significance of that wrinkle? Ah, your mother put that there, said the man. She was good and sweet and helpful, and your granny couldn't help smiling when she was around. So now this really satisfying wrinkle, or the wrinkle which made her smile, so now the Sally is asking, what does this wrinkle signify? So the artist is saying this wrinkle signifies that your mother has been very helpful and she was very good. So this puts your grandmother in a very good mood, and this wrinkle signifies that. Oh, I am glad, said Sally. She pointed to the wrinkle. Look at those lines. How did Granny get those? So now Sally is very curious and asking about all the wrinkles on which the artist has made in the portrait of her granny. They came when one of her daughters was very ill, said the man. And they got worse when your granny discovered that a great friend of hers was doing something wrong. And they got worse still when she fell ill and was always cross with people. What do we mean cross here, students? Cross means when she was always worried, tensed, or angry on people for all the hardships she has faced. It is a good face, isn't it? Even though it is a bit tired and sad. So now the artist is saying that all the wrinkles which are there are some happy wrinkles which were given by Sally's mother. There are sad wrinkles which were given by all the hardships Granny faced. Yes, said Sally. I didn't know people's face grew like that because of things that had happened to them. Now draw my mother's face, she's lovely. So now Sally is saying, please draw my mother's face also. The man drew another face, round and young and unlined, which means that artist drew a very fresh and happy face. Sally knew it was her mother when she was younger. You haven't put in the lines, said Sally. Repeat. You haven't put in the lines, she said. Mummy hasn't many, but she got a few. Put them in and tell me what they means. So now Sally is saying, You haven't put any of the wrinkles on my mother's face. You haven't put any of the little lines which you put in my grandmother's face. So why haven't you put? You put some of the fine lines and tell me what are the struggles of my mother. Well, here's one, said the artist. That came when your brother fell off his bicycle and broke his leg very badly. That was worry line. And here's another one that came when your granny was very ill. And this one came when your daddy lost his job. That was a sad line, isn't it? So now the artist is saying all these wrinkles that I'm making even on your mother's face, they are worry lines, and they are coming because first your brother broke his leg and was paralyzed very badly. And the second line was made when your granny became ill. And the third line of little lines, the wrinkles, was made when your daddy lost the job. They all are worry lines. Yes, but daddy is working again, so perhaps that will go. So now Sally is saying that my father has started working again, so that should go. That fine line, that fine wrinkle that you have made on my mother's face, that will soon go. I don't like it. It makes mummy's face look old. So now Sally is saying that now please remove all those wrinkles because I don't like my mother getting old. So what are the little lines that you have made around her eyes? What is the significance of those lines? Tell me. Oh, they are laugh lines, said the artist. Your mother's fond of jokes, isn't she? And she is gay and bright. So what do we mean by gay, students? It means happy. She put those merry little lines there herself. But here's a bad line. Look. Now, what was that? Yes, it was when your elder sister wouldn't work at school and almost got expelled for her naughtiness. So what do we mean by expelled, students? It means she was rusticated. She was pulled out of school because she was so naughty. So there is one more worry line or worry wrinkle on her face because of all the worries that her elder sister gave. Yes, I remember that, though I was very little then, said Sally. But Janie is better now. She just won a scholarship. That line ought not to be there anymore. So now Sally is saying that my elder sister just got a scholarship. So now that worry line, that wrinkle line should go. Okay? Yes, I remember that, though I was very little. Repeat. Janie put it there, and there it will stay, said the artist. So now the artist is saying that Janie put it there, put those lines, those worries in her past, and it will stay there. The wrinkles on your mother's face that I have made on the portrait, it will stay there because it has created an impression on her mind, on Sally's mother's mind. It is a good thing Janie doesn't know it. It would make her sad. So now the artist is saying that it is a good thing that Janie doesn't know that she put her worry line on her mother. Sally looked earnestly at that picture. Yes, it was her mother's face. There was no doubt about it. She looked at a dear little curly line by her mouth. What's that? She said. I like that. What put that nice little smiley line there? So now Sally is asking, what is that little line that you have made? So that little line looks like a smiley on my face. What does that signify? What does that little wrinkle signifies? Tell me that. You did, Sally, said the artist. And his eyes looked very gentle. You are a nice girl, you know. I have heard you are very sweet-tempered and kind. The only line in your mother's face that you have put is that little curly one you like. And see, I'll make it a little bigger. And now your mother's face is even sweeter. So Sally asked, what is the significance of that little line that you have put on my mother's portrait? So now the artist is saying, it is you. It is you who makes your mother so happy because you are such a sweet tempered and a nice and kind child, so you are the reason for your mother's happiness, and always be like this, Sally. Yes, it is, said Sally. I'll make it bigger on mother's real face. You see if I don't. So now she is promising that I'm going to make this smile or make this happiness even bigger on my mother's face. I'd like to give mommy a nice smiley line like that. I'd really love to put that on mummy's face. Do you think people know how faces are made? Do you think? So now the artist is saying, do you know how the faces are made? Oh, I cannot answer so many questions, said the artist. So now the artist is saying that I cannot answer so many questions, Sally. And he got down from the settle. You want to know too much. I have given a lot of secrets away today. Goodbye, Sally. Use my secrets well. So now Sally has got a very important lesson of her life, students. And this brings us to the end of the chapter. I hope you enjoyed and learned so much from this chapter. Thank you.